The secret memo waiting for the president's okay. Political dynamite with the potential to shake up the FBI, possibly shake down a presidency. Tonight, the White House confirming tomorrow Washington and the world will get the memo. Plus, doping for the gold. An Olympic ban on 28 Russian athletes overturned. Justice or a free pass for cheaters? I'm Brent Goff in Berlin. This is The Day.
We've waited for this for a long time.
In 28 cases, the evidence collected was found to be insufficient.
This may have a serious impact on the future fight against doping.
We were hoping for justice, and it has prevailed.
It's not just a victory for the Russian athletes, it's a victory for all clean athletes.
The CAS decision does not mean that these 28 athletes are declared innocent.
Also coming up on The Day, I'll ask a German lawmaker, a member of the Green Party, how she is coping with the new populism that is now part of the parliament.
It's like they're building up new walls. These are not brick walls, but these are walls of minds and about behavior.
We begin the day with a classified memo that could be a political ticking time bomb. The FBI has condemned plans by the White House and House Republicans to release the memo on Friday. Now, Republicans claim that it reveals how the FBI abused its powers when it investigated the Trump presidential campaign. Democrats say the memo is a fabrication by the GOP to undermine Robert Mueller's investigation into Russian ties to Trump and possible interference in the election that made Trump the president.
Let's release the memo. Don't worry. 100%.
A quick exchange overheard after Donald Trump's State of the Union speech on Tuesday night. The U.S. president reassures a Republican lawmaker that he has every intention of putting out the memo that's polarizing Washington.
Good job. There you go. Thank you, Mr. President.
The memo was commissioned by Devin Nunes, chairman of the Republican House Intelligence Committee. It describes alleged surveillance abuses by FBI and Justice Department officials looking into possible ties between the Trump campaign and Russia. Investigators are accused of failing to disclose that their probe was partly based on research financed by Hillary Clinton's campaign. Republicans claim this shows anti-Trump bias at the FBI. They're calling for the memo to be released.
There may have been malfeasance at the FBI by certain individuals. So it is our job in conducting transparent oversight of the executive branch to get to the bottom of that. Sunshine is the best disinfectant. And so what we want is all of this information to come out so that transparency can reign supreme and accountability can occur.
But the FBI has warned against releasing the dossier in a rare public rebuke. We have grave concerns about material omissions of fact that fundamentally impact the memo's accuracy. For their part, Democrats claim the memo cherry-picks highly classified information in an effort to discredit the Russia investigation led by Robert Mueller.
This is not about the facts. This is about a narrative that the chairman wants to put out, a misleading narrative, to undermine the FBI, undermine the department, and ultimately undermine Bob Mueller.
Tensions between the Trump White House and investigators has been mounting. Days ago, the FBI's Deputy Director Andrew McCabe quit. And now an open confrontation looms between the head of America's top domestic intelligence agency and the administration.
Well, we want to go to Washington now and pull in Chris Faulkner. He is a Republican political strategist. Chris, it's good to see you again. You know, we've got the White House saying that the president wants to release the memo tomorrow. Can you maybe explain to our audience why he wants to make that memo public? Is the purpose to undermine the Robert Mueller investigation?
No, of course not. The purpose here is to make sure that the public has complete faith and total trust in the FBI. Since 9/11, almost no federal agency has been more instrumental in keeping Americans safe than the FBI. And everyone believes, it's very much likely true that 99% of the folks at the FBI are doing their darndest to keep everyone safe and to protect our country from any threats, foreign and domestic. The concern is here there may have been a few bad actors, a few folks who, with a partisan angle, with a very unfortunate politics bent to their views, were involved in this investigation and unfortunately are making the rest of the FBI look bad.
Well, you and I, we can't be sure of what is in the document because we haven't seen the document. I'm sure you agree with me on that. And we also have a lot of members of Congress on Capitol Hill who have come out and said that they want the memo released, and they haven't seen the memo either. What do you make of the claims that Mr. Nunes himself, the man who authored this memo, that he altered it and that the copy that the president has is different from the copy that the other members of the House Intelligence Committee have?
Well, I'm sure Chairman Nunes is not an idiot. He knows full well if there was any alteration that it's quickly going to become public because there might be, if people are saying this, there might be two actual copies of this report. It's unlikely that's the case. I'm not familiar with the original document, so I don't know if it's been altered or not. We'll see. And this, again, this transparency, this move to release the memo will clear up any confusion or concerns that people have about this issue.
And I'm trying to explain to a lot of our viewers who've written in asking about what the president was overheard saying after the State of the Union address earlier this week, saying that, telling members of Congress, yes, I'm going to release the memo. Now, he said that on Tuesday evening, and he had not seen the memo at that point. So doesn't it make then the motivation, the motive of the president, doesn't it bring it into question if he hasn't even seen the contents, that he's willing to say, yes, I will make it public?
I'm not aware of exactly what the president said to members as he was leaving the chamber after the State of the Union. But what is clear, whether it's this president or any president for that matter, if there is insinuation of wrongdoing, especially something as insidious as collusion with a foreign government, and we have evidence that clearly refutes that shows there was no interference in our democratic elections, then of course he's going to want to get that out there. You want to restore the American people's faith in the integrity of our elections, and this is a clear way to do that.
All right, Republican strategist Chris Faulkner, based in L.A., but he is paying us a visit in our studio in Washington tonight. Chris, thank you very much. We appreciate you taking the time to talk with us.